Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
Hey, welcome to a beautiful edition of the Lyle Style Show. I'm your boy here, Lyle Van Harris, and it's going to be a great show. You know what, on that show, I've been waiting for a while to get this young man on my show. You know, he's real busy doing other things, recording and whatnot, but he's a great songwriter, a great recording artist, and he's one of the members of the Isley Brothers. Remember the Isley Brothers? Remember back in the day, Who's That Lady? In the Sheets, all that type of stuff. He did all that. He wrote it. He wrote the song, produced everything. So I'm talking to Chris Jasper, and I want to welcome you to the show, man. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, man. I'm doing good, Lyle. Thanks for having me on there.
Oh, wow. Hey,
Good to be with you today.
yeah, it was a beautiful thing. I am so pleased and honored for you to be on my show. Wow. I mean, only song I can remember, man, back in the day, Who's That Lady? That song just, that song became, I remember when it came out, you know, back in the day. I was growing up. I used to love listening to that song, man, and I did not realize that you wrote that song.
Yeah, man. Actually, it was like a collab between me and Ernie and Marvin. We wrote that song and we recorded it out in California in LA at Record Plant.
Wow.
Actually, the whole album, the 3+3 album. So that was a good experience. It was a new experience for us too, because we had been recording in New York before that, and that's the first album we did out in LA.
Okay. Well. Before we get into all the juicy part, I want to, you know, I got some little questions, you know, that I have written down. So let's talk a little bit about your early years as a childhood. As you're growing up as a kid, were you always in music? What was you like growing up in New York or?
Yeah, I grew up in Cincinnati. Okay. We all grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was. You know, I guess they say a normal childhood. You know, I did all the things that the other kids did. You know, football, basketball, baseball, all that kind of stuff. But I also studied music too, from about the age of 7. And I was really blessed to have a good teacher, a piano teacher. He was a professor from the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, and taught me a lot of things about songwriting. Actually, that was the beginning of my, I guess, songwriting experience, because I learned a lot from him.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So you always had that blood in music, even as you was a child, huh? Yeah. I always loved music, and I used to play by ear before I started studying. Oh, did you?
You know, I used to hear songs on the radio. Yeah, and then I'd go to the piano and, you know, work out the chords, you know, and my mother saw me doing that, and she said, you know, you've got to take lessons. You know, you have talent for music, you know. And so she was the one to encourage me to go ahead and start studying music.
All right. Okay. So you started studying and whatnot. Okay. You trained classical, or you were always into other kind of music?
Well, the music that I studied, that was classical. Okay. Because that's what they taught you. You know, when you would take lessons. But, you know, after I finished, you know, my classical, you know, studies, I would go and start playing R&B, because I always loved R&B, you know. Okay, yeah. Sam Cooke and Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles, you know.
So those people kind of you looked up to that you listened to, huh? As a kid.
Those are my young, you know, my experiences when I was a kid, you know. They influenced me a lot.
Oh my goodness! And now, because we were talking a little bit about your musical career, how you started playing your guitar, doing bass, and doing keyboards. So you do both. You know how to do both, then, don't you? Yeah,
I started, you know, playing the keyboards, but then the more I studied, the more I, you know, started playing music. And I started to, you know, play the guitar, and I picked up the bass. And I always had like natural rhythm, you know. I had good rhythm, so, you know, drums weren't difficult for me to learn either.
Oh wow! So you just got into a little drumming, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, and okay, also you grew up, you know, started in the music. You was an everyday type of child doing everything the kids, you know, in sports and that type of stuff. But music was your outlet then, which I could tell because you were so wonderful, talented in what you do, you know, as far as in the music world. Now, when you as you get older, tell me something. We're going to go up a little bit. How did you get involved with the Isley Brothers?
Well, they were, like I said, we're off in Cincinnati, actually from the same street, same neighborhood. And the Jaspers lived, you know, like a few doors down from the Isleys. And my sister Elaine, she's my older sister. She's one of my older sisters, and she married Rudolph Isley, one of the older Isley brothers.
Okay.
And when they got married, the two families even got closer. We were, you know, the two families were friends, but they got closer when they got married. And you know, Ernie and Marvin, they're my age. You know, they're younger than the other brothers. And we had a group called the Jasmine Trio, and we would play, you know, local schools, you know, in New Jersey, schools and dances, and you know, some church affairs and things. And they were at Motown at the time. And what happened was they saw us progressing, and they came to some of our gigs, you know. And they, after a while, they said, "Hey, man, you guys are good. We want you guys to play with us." And so we started to play, you know, on the sessions, recording, you know, on some of the albums, and then you know, touring with the older brothers, and we kind of grew together, you know, into one group, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's with the Ronald Isley, and what was the other brother that was involved?
Marvin and Ernie.
Oh, Marvin,
yeah,
okay.
they're my, you know, age.
Right.
You know.
And so now you do have a voice too. So I was going to ask you, why did you ever sing on some of the songs that y'all did, you know, back in the day, or because I know we hear Ronald's voice through, you know, in the music. Did you do it in vocals?
Yeah, I did some vocals too. You know, a lot of backgrounds, but then I did some leads too on like "Choosy Lover." You know, I'm singing with Ronald on that. Something called "First Love." "It's All Right With Me." You know. There's some songs that I was singing lead too on, you know, we kind of traded, you know,
okay, yeah.
Back and forth.
Right, I could tell, because I listened to your song that you got out, that's coming out pretty soon, called the Love That You Give, and oh my goodness, it's a remarkable R&B song, and also your gospel song, Miracle. It's both of them are beautiful songs, and I know when they come out, they're going to be hits. But now let's talk about, okay, you involved with the Isley Brothers. Okay, you had your own band, and when did you start doing the songwriting and arranging and writing for the group? When you first started out, or was it down the line?
Well, it was right before the album the album that lady was on. That lady was on 3+3, and the album before that was called Brother, Brother, Brother.
Right.
And that's when I started writing. I started writing on that album. I wrote a song called "Love Put Me on the Corner."
Oh wow!
And you know, it had like a classical intro to it, you know, and then it broke down into R&B groove, you know.
Yes.
And that was the beginning. That was the beginning of my writing and arranging for the group. You know, I also played on a lot of sessions before that.
Okay.
You know. The album before that, but that's when I started to, you know, kind of, you know, contribute to the writing and, you know, arranging and the whole production process.
And then you came out with the song "Who's That Lady?" Which is, I tell you, boy, that song, "Who's That Lady?" Boy, my goodness, oh
yeah,
I could hear it in my head.
That was a great session. It was a lot of fun because we had rehearsed a lot before we went out to California to record that. And so everybody was, you know, really kind of comfortable with their parts. And, you know, we just got in the studio and just put it down, you know. It was a really good session.
I know it did. Now, okay, and also it's the other song that people know about, Between the Sheets. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
That's another.
Yeah, I'm playing all I'm playing all the instruments on there and all the keyboards. It's basically a keyboard song with a drum machine. You know, that's basically what it is.
Are you serious? You played all the instruments on that song? Oh no, that's remarkable, man.
Yeah.
Remarkable. That's wow. Okay. And okay, now with the Isley Brothers. Now y'all had a good ride in the '90s, and so when did y'all kind of split up and kind of did your own thing?
When did I go solo?
Yeah. I mean, like you went with another band, a group, in like was it '92 or?
It was the three of us younger guys formed Isley, Jasper, Isley.
Okay.
That was in '84. And Caravan of Love was the big song from our trio. That was the big one.
That's what I heard. That's the song I'm thinking about. Yes, Caravan of Love. Yes. Yeah, and you did the singing on that too, didn't you? You did the vocals.
Yeah, I wrote and sang that. Yeah.
Oh wow! What experience? And, okay, tell me in your experience now, and you're growing up with the music scene. Have y'all ever get a chance to play with different artists down through your music career? You ever did any like on these soundtracks with different artists, whatever? Or
when we were with the Isley Brothers, I was just basically writing for the group, but we toured with a lot of people. Curtis Mayfield.
Ooh, yes.
We were on tour with Brothers Johnson.
Oh my goodness.
Eddie Pendergrass.
Oh my goodness.
Graham Central Station.
Oh shoot.
Even Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band.
Oh yes. Yes. Charlie Wilson, the Gap Band.
We toured with just about everybody. Delphonics.
Oh, okay.
There's just so many groups. I can't think of everybody, but a lot.
Yeah. Okay. But what about Shaka Khan?
Yeah, I wrote a song for her and produced it on her CK album. That was a good experience too.
Wow. Okay. What was the name of it?
She was really good.
Yeah, Shaka Khan. I mean, she's still doing her thing. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's still doing it.
Oh my goodness. So that experience is okay. So now I want to ask you a quick question. Now, in your whole career, what advice would you give other aspiring young people out there that kind of see where you came from and all your accolades and all your successes that you have? What advice would you give them if they want to pursue a music career like yours?
Well, a career like mine, I guess the first thing would be to really, learn as much as you can about music, because there's a lot of different ways you can, write songs, you can record with different ensembles. You can record solo now. I mean, there's so many ways you can go, but the more you know about music, the better, because you have a broader, scope of what to do. And also, try to have someone that you trust to do your legal matters. You know what I mean? To watch out for you as far as contracts and the things you sign are very, very important. So you have to either know something about the record business and contracts that they present you with, or have someone like an attorney, a copyright attorney, or one who knows about the record business to help you with those kind of decisions. So in your career, it hasn't been easy for you, has it? I mean, you have to claw your way up and whatnot. So would you tell people to persevere in whatever they're doing, whether it be music, whatever? Because I guess sometimes you're going to get doors, closed down, on your face. Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to be persistent, but at the same time that you're persistent, you have to have a good, evaluation of your talent, or evaluation of what you're doing. right?
Right.
Because what you don't want to do is not have your product be at a certain level, professional level.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure your product is good and marketable.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you need, someone else to, bounce your ideas off of, and make sure that your stuff is at a level, because you don't want the door to close because you don't have your stuff is not on par. It's not up to par.
Right. That's so true.
So,
that's so true.
So you want an honest, evaluation. What you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I want to get into what's going on right now, to the future. What's going on with Chris Jasper right now? Now you have a record label that you got as what is it called?
Right. Gold City Records, or Gold City Music. We go under both names. Gold City Music. That's my record label. And I started that when I went solo, years ago, back when I think it was 1988. Gold City Records.
Wow.
And I've been recording solo ever since.
Wow. Yeah, you've been doing excellent. Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about you. Now, what I want to ask you, what made you get into gospel? Because I know you wrote a gospel song that's coming out too, Miracles. What made you get into the gospel side of the music?
Well, that's part of who I am. That's part of my life. My relationship with God, and I think it's just important, to get messages out there that are uplifting, that are positive.
That's right.
It really affects people. I was doing an interview on a station in Alabama the other day, and people were calling in, and they were saying, how that song "It's a Miracle" affected them, and it lifted them up. Some of them were depressed, and they said, well, it gives me hope, and it really lifted up my spirits, and thank you for recording that song, and that's the reason I do gospel, because it does reach people into their soul,
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what we need today is positive, statements, positive messages. And what could be more positive than a statement from God,
Amen. Right on, my friend. Right on, my brother. That's so true. I'm a Christian guy too, and I love the song. And thank you for writing. Thank you, the Lord, giving you to write those lyrics, and the music it's going to be a hit when it gets out. Now, tell me a little bit about your R&B song. You got R&B song called "The Love That You Give."
Yeah, "The Love You Give." That's I recorded it in my style. A lot of people say it has that sound, or it has that sound, like you did with the Isley Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I wrote so much of the songs and played so many of the instruments. That when I do my own music, it has the same sound. That's kind of my signature sound, and I wanted this album, and actually all the albums, to have that, because the people tell me so much how much they like, the sound, and how much they appreciate, the classic soul, that, a lot of times, you don't hear a lot, but I just feel it's something that, is a strong point for me, and this is just another one of those love ballads that has that sound to it.
Oh my goodness, it is. Now, when you wrote it, were you thinking about something in mind? When you wrote that song, was something in the back of your head that you write for? I know you wrote it for people, but what was your process of writing that particular song?
Oh, well, my wife is always my inspiration.
There you go.
With love songs. That's I can go to that well, forever.
There you go.
So that's where the inspiration comes from.
There you go. That's right.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have the type of marriage that I have, and that's another thing. I write from the perspective of marriage.
Right. Right. Yes.
And because that's also consistent with God's word.
Amen. It is.
That's kind of who I am. If I'm writing lyrics, I'm very conscious of that.
Okay.
I wanted to conform, with God's principles.
Amen. That's a blessing. Now we got 5 minutes left, so I want to ask you about the album. Now, when is it coming out? When can people actually get this album, or both from gospel and the?
Well, the two singles, "It's a Miracle" and The Love That You Give, those are available now.
Okay.
You can go to CD Baby or iTunes, Amazon. You know, you can download those now.
Okay.
But the album is going to drop this summer in July.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in the process of finishing off some of those songs. So, but I'll be ready to come out this summer with that.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be called Dance With You will be the title.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, I want to give a shout out to your son that's in the music business because he's going to be graduating from law school. A shout out to your son, man, for graduating from law school.
Yeah. Yeah, man, the 14th of May, he's graduating from law school. And, you know, he's got some music, too, he's going to be putting out, too, pretty soon.
Okay, well,
and
I got to invite you, you and your son back on the show. Definitely when this come out, I want to definitely talk to him. Because he's going to be a lawyer and a singer. Well, a combination of lawyer and a singer, man. What a beautiful combination right there.
Man. It's, you know, my wife's an attorney.
Oh, she is?
And,
okay.
you know, yeah, and I have a law degree, too.
Oh,
I finished law school.
Wow.
And Michael, he'll be the third one in the family.
Yeah. What a blessing.
So,
Yeah. Well, kudos to you and your wife, and you know, y'all make a beautiful couple. I've seen pictures of you and your wife, and she's a beautiful lady, and a shout out to her and stuff like that. So, man, I mean, I am so blessed that you came on the show. Talk to me a little bit about your album, about what your career and stuff like the songwriting. And now, if people want to follow you, where can they go to follow you?
Yeah, all you got to do is go to chrisjasper.com. And all of the music is on there. This will be album number 15, the solo albums. All of my albums, all my music's on there. Anything that's going on with my career, you can find out through chrisjasper.com. You can reach me on Facebook through there and Twitter, everything.
Amen.
It's at chrisjasper.com.
chrisjasper.com. I'm gonna follow you too.
Yeah.
I'm a follower. I'm a fan of your work, Chris. Man, you just don't know. One of these days I have to meet you, man. I have to come out to California. I have to come out to New York, and that's on my bucket list. Come out there and maybe talk to, maybe do a show out there. So I appreciate you being on the Lyle Style Show, man. And I want you to come back on again, man, when your album dropping. Your son, definitely when his music come out, it can be a father-son interview.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That would be definitely nice, and thank you for doing this. And like I said, your album's coming out in July, so but they can get you, they can listen to it. They can go to Amazon.
Yeah, if they want to listen to the singles or anything like that, you can just go to my website, chrisjasper.com.
Okay.
But the album's going to come out in July. It's going to be a special, thing on Soul Tracks. Matter of fact, Soul Tracks, if you want to hear the singles, you can go to Soul Tracks right now.
Okay.
And you can hear the singles there, too.
Okay.
So,
many different avenues to hear your song. Yeah, well, we're going to be playing your hit single called the Love That You Give in about 1 minute. So, but again, thank you, Chris, for being on the show, man. Shout out to your son. What's your son's name? Michael. Shout out to Michael for graduating to become a lawyer, big time lawyer. Hopefully, I won't need you, but if I do, I'm gonna call y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, call y'all. Now I know some lawyers. So again, Chris, thank you again. Many thanks. I know you're gonna be successful in your album. Hopefully, man, this song can win a Grammy. It's that good. So I definitely appreciate it. And your gospel song is inspirational.
Well, thank you, man. And I just like to shout out to all the fans. I appreciate them so much. And I just want to say that. I always say that. So I really do appreciate the fans.
Oh, they do. Yeah, they appreciate you. I'm a fan, and I appreciate you. So thanks again. So you're gonna come back on the show again. So again, man, God bless you, man, and many blessings to you and your family, man. So okay.
All right. Same to you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man. God bless. Hey, thank you. I had Chris on my show. What a blessing for him to come on my show. You have dreams about the music business. He says you never give up your dream, follow your passion. The doors were closed, but you got to keep following your passion. Hey, I want to say, hey, Denzel, I'm sorry for bumping you, man. I had to have Chris on the show, but next time, man, I'm going to have you on the show, man. Your people talk to my people. Hey, Denzel, I got mad love for you. So with that said, I want everybody to realize your dreams and always keep it classy. This is Lyle Van Harris from the Lyle Style Show. Keep it classy.
Ooh, baby, you're the sunshine in my day, so warm in every way. No one can keep us apart. I really love it when you kiss me. I feel so good when you're with me. You're the key to my heart. I said I'm living for the love that you give to me. Oh yes I am, girl. I wanna give you more, so much more than I receive. Here's what I pledge to you. I'm living for the love that you give to me, baby. I wanna give you more, so much more than I receive. Oh yeah, girl. You're the girl of my dreams. You really are my queen. I just want you to know you're everything I need. You make my life complete, much more precious than gold. I'm living for the love that you give to me. Oh yes I am, girl. I wanna give you more, so much more than I receive. Here's what I pledge to you. I'm living for the love that you give to me. The love you give to me, girl. You give to me. I wanna give you more, so much more than I receive. Oh yes I do, girl. Words could never express all of the things that I feel for you, girl. The only thing that I can do is to show you. Only you. Said I'm living for the love that you give to me. Oh, you give to me, girl. Give to me. Said I'm living for the love that you give to me. Oh, yes, I do, girl. I love the way I'm living for. I love the way that you give to me. You make me feel. Oh yes I do. Yes I do, baby. Yes I do, girl. The love that you give to me. You give to me, baby. Give to me, girl. I'm living for. I wanna give you more, you give to me. So much more than you give to me.